I'm a professional.
Professional what?
That's the problem. We don't know. Oh, well.
You gentlemen have nothing to worry about.
Oh, why is my phone not working? There we go. Oh, loud. Oh, fake it till you make it. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Everyone Racers, a show designed for the world of what the hell happened to my music and oddball car culture. There it is. Doesn't matter what kind of Lemachamp or Lucky Track dog you run. We can't even get the music to work. SCC or NASA, we won't discriminate. I know it's terrible, right?
This is how this has been.
Man, as long as you drive it hard and built it yourself. Join us each week for tech discussion, tips, tricks, news, and notes in the world of amateur endurance racing. And whether it's on the spot, hella sweet, or we're lucky enough and Chrissy gives us just the tip, we're sure you'll learn a little. Oh, it's back again. We're sure you'll learn a little and giggle even less.
I feel like halfway through the show, the
everyone reported
it's gonna start. You know.
Is this time where I say this is Chris?
Go ahead. What the hell? Just get to it.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay. This is Chrissy.
I'm Jeff.
And I'm Mental, and we are Everyone Racers. Thanks for coming back and listening to a California Proposition 3 strikes rule kind of episode. Listen up, Chrissy. I know you've been working here, but one more and you're out. All right. It is episode 184.
Say, I think I'm the one with 2 strikes this week. I don't know what you're talking about.
2.5, 2 3/4.
All right.
Here's your just the tip, everybody. Don't let your 12-year-old touch your computer. Ever.
Download things.
Download everything.
How about don't fall?
Oh, we're going to get to that.
I know.
But since you know all the stuff's coming up, grab that E1R bingo card. Go ahead and check off. Jeff has wire problems and Mental has internet issues. Because that's why, So yeah, we're having that kind of week. And
I feel like it almost sounds like we're drunk, but we're really not. It's just been a struggle bus kind of night.
I'm pounding water because I'm so dehydrated. Chris, I know you've had that kind of week. Why don't you tell us what you're working on?
I don't even remember totally at this point.
Dude, I wrote it down for you.
I know, but it's all the blur. There's more than that. It's all a blur. The last, I don't know, months. I made a gauge panel for the Mazda with CAD. It looked great, actually.
A fantastic gauge.
It looks like it should be there. It is so good.
I'm proud of that.
Like two Mazda owners were asking, "Hey, what are you gonna do with that? I can put it in my car."
Yeah, it's done. It's good. Finished the cage. Did a metric ass ton of welding. Painted the cage. Did some more wiring because there's always more wiring. There's a lot of stuff I can't remember because that happens. And I put the seat in tonight. I put the sub belt mounts in tonight through the floor with a backing plate. And I have now made the Mazda very angry.
Oh,
this is news.
This is as of an hour ago.
8 o'clock.
Car is pissed off and won't start because something with the security system. And now I'm having to figure out the entire security system so I can bypass it.
Wow. Like how many
Hold on.
Wait
for it.
It's not even set up right.
That's
He's
pretty
got like
good.
the trombone flat. It's
okay.
How many race cars is this where the flipping security system has now it's a recent development in
How
your
many
race
is it?
car building?
1.
The Z didn't have a security
For like 10 minutes.
Yeah, a minute.
Like, oh, here's
yeah,
the
we
module.
figured that out.
Throw that away, and it's fine. Because that was the early 90s. They had modules and stuff. Now it's all integrated with the PCM and all that.
You know what I hear? If you get the VIN and you go on the internet, you can find the code to put in the radio to get your Blaupunk to start working again.
What radio?
Yeah, we don't have a radio.
Oh.
Yeah.
We don't have the door locks.
That's
We
an
don't have the-
80s. Chrissy doesn't remember the 80s
I
when
do.
there were security numbers and if you're
My
battery.
my
went out.
98 Acura
Oh, yeah.
Integra had one of those.
Or you had the owner's manual and you had to write it down on the back of the owner's manual.
Yeah, so that's why I've just ordered for $2.99 from Lithuania a PDF copy of the '07 Mazda 3 service manual so that I can dive deep into the wiring schematics of the immobilizer system so I can figure out how to bypass it entirely. I have two keys, I have all stuff, but the fact that the car has no door locks anymore, none of the wiring
You
for the
just
keyless
snipped
entry.
everything right off the doors.
Yeah.
You're
Well,
like,
I-
I don't need this.
Well, I depinned it all the way back to like the main fuse box. Like it's all
Well,
depinned.
Automatic
know-
door locks would be a safety problem on a racetrack because God forbid something goes wonky and the rescue guys are trying to get to you. They can't open
Right.
the friggin' door. Yeah.
Wow. You know the reset technique is going to be like turn key 3 times, hit door lock 3 times.
Yep. And I can't hit the door
You
lock
don't
3
have
times
door
because
locks.
it's gone. Well, the physical locks are still there with the little cable that goes from the handle to the lock. That's all still there. Like, but nothing else is.
I wonder, like, did the guys eBay auction, I accept Bitcoin and goat. I will take goat for
I don't want to send a go to
Levi's
Lithuania.
and American blue
Cigarettes.
cigarettes. Yes.
We can send Levi's and cigarettes, but sending a go to Lithuania is not easy these days.
They have
Very
enough
expensive.
goats in Lithuania,
Actually, no, it's Lithuania. You can totally drop ship a goat. It's easy.
but it's from Lithuania. It just goes from one. You figure it's like Abbott Florist. You dial Abbott, and if you have to send flowers across country, they don't actually sell them in your town and ship them across country. They just call the Abbott Florist in the town. So you get your local goat herder, and he says, "What? Bring one to Fred? Yes, yes. You send me $15 American dollars." He high fives his wife.
Speaking of herding goats, Chrissy, what have you been working on?
I don't even know how that just happened. So I have been doing lots as well. I have been doing lots of painting. Posted some pictures on the social medias this weekend of painting the interior, painted the floor, and then promptly the next day, Jeff got in with his dirty shoes, dirtied up my white car.
What?
Right.
Jeff?
Oh, that
Didn't
didn't
clean
even
it all.
that didn't even begin the discussion of the destruction of the paint that I did.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, yes, right. We'll get there. So we did the last of the cage bending. Jeff can talk more about that. I made a front air dam out of garden edging. And after so much cage building, like the last 3 or 4 weeks, the garage, even though I try to keep track of and keep up with the tool cleaning, the rest of it was just a freaking mess. When you grind and cut and chop, there are bits of metal in everywhere in that stupid garage and in my house, but I've been trying to keep track of it because when we track it all and it just ends in my feet, I hate it. Anyway, so I did a lot of cleaning. Everything dried out after our Sunday's rainstorm, which Jeff will tell you about more later. And I cleaned a lot. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. Mental, tell us the story. Tell us what's going on.
So, I actually missed this a couple of weeks ago. The Toyota pickup. We mentioned the overheating issues, and I bought the overflow tank, an expansion tank. Got it all running. Was letting it sit and idle to see if I can make it overheat. And after a little bit of burping, it actually sat there and idled just fine and was not going to overheat. So I grabbed my favorite big dog who loves to go for a ride in a truck, and as I pushed in the clutch, it started making marbly sounds. Put truck in gear, tried to move forward, and engine goes and ceases any and all movement.
Where were you?
In the
Are you like
driveway.
at a okay, fine.
good.
You wanted to like a stoplight. Like I was
No.
okay.
Yeah,
got
didn't even make it out of the driveway.
Got it.
I have not had an opportunity to tear into it. I believe it was the slipping clutch finally just disintegrated and now is jammed up into the crank, or not the crank, but the flywheel, preventing it from moving because there's no oil, there was no smoke, there was nothing rod knocky sound. I reserve the right to be wrong on that, but I think it. So I immediately pushed it onto the side of the house along with the motorcycles and the ATV because I had to clear out the garage to start making room for the Cadillac, and then I had to get the Cadillac out after I put. Oh, I'm sorry. Well,
The rally car.
The rally car just blew that one.
We'll edit that.
No, we won't. And to get that in there, had to get that back out of the garage because now my garage is full of roof. While I was in New Orleans, the FedEx freight guy brought 2 giant rolls of 1,000 square feet of EPDM rubber roofing, 2 boxes with another 300 square feet of EPDM roofing, 9 buckets of adhesive hardener, chalk, metal rods to get all the way through, and got it all into our garage. So Lots Roofing in Missouri, I'm sure they're listening. Proper, well done. 1,350 pounds of material on 2 giant pallets.
I was gonna say, is
Now
this
you
on a
gotta
pallet at least?
Lift that up onto your roof now. That's the next thing.
Well, what I've got the 2 big pieces up. What I did is I rolled out, because I've got the measurements of how I'm going to cut the rubber, and 2 of them are 50 feet long. So I took one of the rolls, basically cut it in half, and then pulled it up like Johnny Cash built the Cadillac, just one piece at a time, like a giant roll of cloth, and slid it all up on my roof and did the other one. It's so heavy, but those are the biggest pieces. And we're up there working on that. Tomorrow, the pool people, the tile comes out. So actually by the end of the month, we'll have a pool. So we're turning the corner on project creep, and now we're starting to see progress.
That's a sigh of relief.
Good time.
Even though the end of the tunnel is far away.
So far away.
At least you're getting there.
And tomorrow I will also be headed to Sonoma. I was supposed to head to Sonoma today. The previous guest, the lovely shit show prevention manager, Kim Harmon, reserved a minivan because the plan was I would drive to Lemon's headquarters in Emeryville, California, load up all the logistics supplies, go to the racetrack, work the race, then drive back and relocate all that here. More on that when we get to the main topic. I am walking out of my office, admittedly 45 minutes late for my appointment to pick up my Enterprise rental car, when my phone rings, and it's Brian from Enterprise Rent a Car, who says, I just rented your van to someone else. Even though they had called me the day before to confirm that I would be coming for it. Well, Brian, what do we do now? Well, I have a sedan. I have a sedan, Brian. If I needed a sedan, I would have rented a sedan. I need a van. Well, you could call the airport location. Are you going to connect me to that location, Brian? Have you looked to see if they have any cars, Brian? No, but I can get the number for you. Brian, I think at this point I'm capable of getting that number myself. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you thanks, literally, for nothing. So I call Enterprise's 1-800 number, and I get their offshore customer service. Can't bag on her. It's not her fault. And she's like, can I have your reservation number? We go through the whole rigmarole, and I'm like, yes, the van is unavailable, so I'll need to pick up a minivan. Do you have a major credit card? Yes, I do. Can you pick that up at the airport? Yes, I can. Okay. Click, 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 click. There are no vehicles at all in Las Vegas for Enterprise Rent a Car. I'm sorry. Say that again. We have no vehicles. None.
Nothing.
Well, is there anything else I can help you with today?
Clearly not.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's
This is the old Seinfeld bit. Oh, I have your reservation. I just don't have a car. You're good at taking reservations. You can take them all day, but you can't hold a reservation.
Stop, Jeff, stop. It gets worse.
Oh,
so I, as soon as they canceled my reservation, I called previous said shit show prevention manager. And then when I get off the phone with Enterprise, there's nothing. It's 10 o'clock now where Kim lives. Kim gets online 90 minutes later. She's like, okay, I finally found you a rented cargo van from Dollar Rental. And like, she sends me the reservation, and it took her like 6 times to find a time period when they would accept it. It's basically 2 seats and a metal box. This is, the description of the vehicle.
Sounds luxurious.
Exactly. So I arrived there 10 minutes ahead of my appointed time for this one to find out they have no rental cars.
Are you kidding?
Wow.
So I call Kim again and go, Kim, you understand what a reservation is, right? And she's like, dear God, no. I'm like, because Dollar Rental Car doesn't understand one.
What is going on? Is there something in Las Vegas?
Yeah, what's happening in Vegas?
Are the cars moved?
It's not just Vegas. So Kim then spends literally the next 4 hours trying to figure out how they're going to get me to California with various options in there. the option was, okay, fly to Sacramento, fly here, fly all these different places, and then try and get a car from there. Nobody has anything. If some journalist is listening to this, I think all the rental car people sold off all their fleets and they're all still taking reservations, and they're leaving these little local managers to deal with the aftermath of overbooking, because the poor girl Dollar, the guy in front of me, was yelling at her. And, I'm like, I can't be that one. She has no access, and she's not the one that took the reservations. And if they'd have bothered to call her, she'd have been like, we don't have anything. Stop selling people cars. But
yeah, I mean, the used car market right now is so hot. If you were Enterprise rental car, you'd be smart to get rid of all of your Kia Relenos and whatever the hell you got.
It's totally bizarre. But I think also, they were selling all their fleet because nobody was renting a car. So right now, because overkill is the best kill, I have 3 reservations tomorrow morning at Oakland Airport. So if none of those pan out, Nick Pond sent me a link to the local Turo, and I think we settled on a Mazda CX-9 that is going to meet my needs for the weekend. It was between that and a Rolls Royce that was only $999 a day. So I think we'll go with the we'll try that. So that is the drama of the travel.
Crap.
Wow.
So this is why Kim is a delightful and wonderful human being. And at every race you see her, you should bring her a lovely breakfast. She likes natural sweets and also colorful socks from Sock It To Me. Link is still in our show notes. So
now I got to do that link again.
Now that's what Kim did just for me. So that's what I've been doing. And then I've been up on the roof. All of the nailing is finished. I went to Harbor Freight to buy a pair of the gel knee pads because I was screwing everything down. And I'm like, okay, I have officially gotten too old for this. So I went to Harbor Freight to get the gel knee pads because my knees were killing me after screwing down about 1/6 of it. And I came out instead with a pancake compressor, a framing nail gun, a box of framing nails, and a set of gel compressors, which, yeah, framing nail gun's really the way to go over a drill or a screw gun. Yeah. So that's why it's all done.
You were going to do it that way?
All of my crickets. Yeah, I was going to, because screw is a better hold, but nails are just faster, especially when they're coming out of a gun.
Oh, there's just, yep.
Yeah. Just don't hit the line. Whatever you do.
Okay.
Don't hit the line.
I figured Jeff was going to tell me to take
from
I
Chrissy.
figured Jeff was going to tell me to take the safety
Early in the
off.
show.
Then you don't have to be all the way over there. You can just fire the nails off from the.
Nope. Do not mess with the safety on that one. Speaking of safety,
I am literally ready to glue down rubber. That is my next phase.
Very cool. My turn.
Yes, sorry.
Good. Thank you. I will say that we had another single day of work at the Chris and Chrissy Mayhem Factory. But before that happened, I spent a day working on.
You know, it's the CNC Mayhem.
I know that.
The reference to the old 80s.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Of course I do, Metz. I'm the one old enough in this podcast to know that.
I'm sorry. That is actually my favorite song.
Oh, okay.
In like the whole world.
It was your first cassette tape.
It was my first cassette tape, and I had one of those little players that everybody had to listen to my favorite song. That went the little and the little speaker was like a box, little box, and you carried around. That was me.
Yep. Oh, totally.
That is actually my favorite song. Anyway, Jeff, go ahead. Jeff.
Sorry, I was getting the CNC Music Factory together. Anyway, so I spent a day working on the Z, and my brother and I came over and we messed with the computer and we did a few other things like RAM mounts. That we did a bunch of those little jobs that I talked about. But the most important thing is Jim discovered why the Z wouldn't tack up. So we were Googling things, and Chris sent us a tune that did the exact same thing. And basically, as soon as it shifted maps off the warm-up map, it would not tack over 2,000 degrees or 2,000 RPM. We Googled it, and like the very first hit was, so I have a manual transmission, and it won't go up. And they said, yeah, change it to automatic. So we swapped it to automatic, and all of a sudden the thing runs great. I did a little half donut around my cul-de-sac. I did a half burnout. I got it half recorded because my brother's not the best cameraman. He didn't turn the camera
like,
sideways.
what are we even watching?
Yeah, exactly. It's a really long video. He like didn't stop it right anyway. It's okay. It's we
Doesn't your brother work with robots?
Yes. No. But anyway, the wife and the townsfolk were not amused at my shenanigans, so I parked it, and we got to work on the theme. We are that close. We're working on the theme. So then on Sunday, we went to the CNC Music Factory. Now I have it stuck in my brain. The CNC Mayhem Factory, and my brother and I bent the door bars, and we just made sure that Chris doesn't have the ability to stop welding. Like, we just kept feeding him things to weld, and like, oh yeah, there's a little gap here, so you're gonna have to fill that one, and this one's not perfect, so we're gonna have to bang it in and hold it while you weld it. So we did not make his job any easier, Chrissy.
But you can't weld and do other things at the same time. So we had to either take a break or do theory while he was welding, because that's too much power for our house.
It's true. It's
right.
true.
So
And
we would trip a breaker, and then we would all stand around and work on things and wait and stand in line.
Like waiting in line at the drill press. Like,
that's what we were. You're like, are you done? I'm like, no, I'm waiting for welding to stop.
We're staring at each other with our metal in our hands going, it'd be nice to
or I start cleaning something.
Anyway, so we and Chrissy mentioned that we were putting lots of things in the garage from the grinders and stuff, and people will say, well, why are you grinding inside? It was a beautiful weekend. No, it was a rainy as hell weekend, and this gets to the next part of the story. Mr. Mental, do you remember what my favorite New Year's resolution is?
Don't fall down.
Yes. So it was really windy, and it was really rainy, and it was really wet, and I had finished bending a piece of metal, a piece of tube, and I started, like, the wind was like pushing the easy up. So I took a couple of quick steps into the garage, and Chrissy went, oh no! And she put her hands up, and I tried to stop because whatever I was doing was wrong, and I fell flat on my ass. And I knocked over the drill press, and it nearly hit Chrissy. And it was the biggest, like, holy, is everybody okay? It was the biggest crash. So
not only breaking your New Year's resolutions, you tried to break Chrissy's New Year's resolution, which is also not fall down.
No, Chrissy didn't fall down. She just really got killed by the drill press as it came down.
And I wasn't gonna. And I was like next to it, so I could have kind of caught it, but then I couldn't.
No,
and then
that would have been bad.
Jeff almost came into me because I was standing right where he was coming into, because he stopped when he saw me, and it was a dumb reason for me to stop him. But
so March 28th
like
is one of the earliest falls in like 10 years.
I feel like Jeff falling on you is way better than a drill press.
Yes, probably. I think I weigh less than the drill press.
You're warm and cuddly.
Sure.
Nothing was warm and cuddly on a very rainy afternoon.
Disgusting.
That is just awful. I was talking to Eric today too. We were doing some post NOLA conversations, and he was at the park with his daughter, and it was a quote lovely Chicago spring day of 35 degrees, and I felt bad telling him that it's 76 right now with crystal clear blue skies, and I actually have had to switch to my ripped off sleeve shirts while I'm up on the roof so my tan's not uneven.
Yes, I know I should probably mention this. This will end my story, and we can move on to news and notes. But
those shirts go with your mustache right now.
Yeah, I'm just ignoring it and keeping it moving. I got contacted by Ted Fort, the lovely long-haired gentleman from Isle Clatter, and he said, "Hey Jeff, you were the one that had the don't fall down New Year's resolution." I was like, "Yes, why?" He says, "Man, I fell down like you wouldn't believe this weekend, and as I was falling, I thought, oh crap. Jeff said, don't fall down."
That's awesome.
Yes. Not awesome. Not awesome.
It's not awesome. No. That he thought of you while he was falling.
Yes. So then we traded broken ankle stories. Not that he broke his ankle, but he was at his parents' horse farm, and he had a really embarrassing reason he fell. I'll let you tell it, Ted, when you meet us at the track. And I told him about tripping while I was chasing a duck, and I put one foot in a radish hole. and he has decided that 1 foot in the radish hole is the newest idiom that we need to create everywhere. So if everybody says like, I had to go to my parents' house, they started talking about Trump. Can't believe I put 1 foot in that radish hole. Or
I like it. And you could like expand upon it, knowing that you're really in a precarious position. I got 1 foot in a radish hole and the other one's kicking over in a drill press.
yeah, exactly. Love that.
Where's that even going?
I don't know. It doesn't know. News and notes time. Can I go first? I got a quick one.
Sure.
So it's a somewhat older story because it came from the winter, but it hit all the rounds today. If you have that super efficient car and you live like somewhere really cold, it's highly probable that your heat is not going to work. So there's a whole bunch of 1.5 liter CRVs up in Canada. And no matter what they do, there ain't no heat coming out of the vents. There's just not enough motor to heat up. How's that for efficient?
Yeah, Hondas have always kind of had that problem. The heat isn't great when it's really cold because they just don't throw off enough waste heat.
Well, and then like
No.
a CRV has like a really big cabin.
Yeah.
And then they put that tiny little motor in it.
Well, when I was lived in Nebraska, it was common practice to keep a chunk of cardboard in your trunk or in the back of your car to block off part of your radiator because you just couldn't get it. I remember having to swap the thermostats on all my vehicles when I moved there because I couldn't get them to generate enough heat.
There you go.
I
Happening
see
in
the
Canada.
garbage trucks do it too
Yeah.
around here. They stick the cardboard in front of those. Or like when we ran the Civic at Road Atlanta and it was the snow,
Yeah.
covered
I was just
we
thinking about
covered the oil cooler with tinfoil and then stuck half a piece of cardboard in front of the
and
radiator.
even then it was barely warm enough.
It got it off the gauge off of the peg though. That was nice.
Yeah. So
Oh,
yeah,
well.
they keep bringing him back to the Honda dealers. Honda dealers like, nothing I can do. So
All
who
right.
else got a story?
I got some F1 stuff. So apparently McLaren's team lead Zach Brown knows how to motivate his new driver, Danny Ricciardo. So it's apparently Danny took Zach's team number when we started karting, took it with him to F1, and now
No.
or actually,
You have
no, not
to
his.
have to start over again.
I was trying to skip it because it's funny to later, whatever. Anyway, the point is, if Daniel Ricciardo will get on the podium with McLaren, he will get to joyride in Dale Earnhardt's 1984 NASCAR Monte Carlo, because that's pretty sweet.
Hell
And
yeah.
Zach Brown set that up. So, his last team manager was supposed to get a tattoo, never got one. But we've got to motivate him somehow. So, but joyriding Dale's Monte Carlo, that's pretty great.
Who
Then he can burn down
has-
Applebee's?
Who has Dale Earnhardt's 1984
Who knows?
NASCAR Monte Carlo?
How
How is he making this?
I believe it's Rick Hendricks. Hendricks Motorsports still owns all that stuff. And Donnie will tell us. Donnie will
Of
tell us
course.
Yeah.
when this show airs. So
Donnie might own it. It could
Yep.
be in one of his yards. We
It's
don't
not,
know.
it's not a Firebird or a Saturn. Anyway, the second thing is Fernando Alonso's return to F1 was turned into DNF because of a sandwich bag.
Now, if he had a Canadian CRV, that sandwich bag might have come in handy.
Yeah, right. That's what they need. Things in testing and qualifying weren't so great for Alonso. After the first pit stop, they turned the car down. On lap 32 of 56, they retired it because of brake overheating. They found a sandwich bag stuck in the brake duct blocking airflow. So, yep.
And some Australian in the stands laughing under his breath.
Don't let
That's
kids.
that's my Vegemite sandwich.
Except they're in Bahrain. But
Well,
you
yeah,
know,
but he's an Australian and he's rooting for Ricardo, so he was throwing his
Oh.
sandwich baggies.
Getting confusing.
That is
Okay.
confusing.
All right. Speaking of confusing but cool, Mercedes launched a kind of a showpiece car talking about their new AMG E platform or E performance platform. And Haley Southwell writes about how none of us will ever even get to touch an F1 car. I think the closest we'll ever get is one of Steph's Puffalumps has sat in the wheel of one. But there is a lot of technology on there. And what's interesting, what AMG is doing with this hybrid technology, the recovery systems and all that, is rather than having the car their E platform use less fuel. They're making it faster because that's what AMG does. I really enjoyed about that. So this entire system, it's a great piece by Haley Southwell. It is not intended as a money saver. It is about the efficiency of delivering the best possible output. So whatever the car is doing, it's going to choose the powertrain that meets that the most. So I think this is key to electrification adoption, is stop ignoring the performance market and sell all of us gearheads on the fact that electric cars are just faster, and you get a hybrid system, now you get the best of both worlds. So there's no pricing on this whole thing yet, but as she says, it's probably going to cost about the same as an F1 car. Kidding, not kidding. Link is on our show notes.
The car is pretty.
It is so pretty.
Yes.
Oh, now I got to go to the link. Go ahead.
Right. Okay. The hand cook 12 hours of Mugello, I think is how you say it. Saw teams and drivers from the acclaimed 24-hour series hitting the track after the opening rounds of the season in the Emirates, with the famous 24 hours of Dubai following the non-championship race at Abu Dhabi. Why should we care about this? Well, there were 6 female entrants on that the 12-hour list. There were a double female podium, Samantha Tan bringing home the Pichu in GT4 and Karen Gilliard holding on to the third in GTX class. Seems like the competition was really fierce. This article was very long about every single turn about all of these other teams, but it is very exciting to hear about women doing well in racing. So it's a step in the right direction.
I don't know Samantha Tan, but Karen Gilliard does the whole Rolex series. So
isn't Samantha Tan the one that won the MX?
It could be. I just
the MX the Miata scholarship.
Oh, could be. Absolutely.
I don't know. There's they talk all about which cars they were in, but I figured that if you know them, cool. If don't, then cool. There's women racing and they're doing well. That makes me happy.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Women belong in motorsports. Upcoming races. Go.
Lemons is in beautiful Sonoma for Sears Pointless. 132 cars. That is a field.
Oh,
that's big.
And wonderfully, only 15 of those are BMW.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Not boring there.
That's a better fine ratio, like 12%. No problem. 14 Miatas.
One of those
Hondas.
BMWs is a diesel.
Oh, excellent. 2 Porsches, lots of great things like a Rover 3500 STI.
Oh,
and
that was on our list, wasn't
yeah,
it, for a while?
A Daewoo Leganza.
That's good.
That's also great. And a pair of Lancia Scorpions.
How is that
This
possible?
is good. When one breaks, they can just pirate
as
the
long
other
as
for
they're
parts.
actually together.
Oh yeah, they're
even if they're not.
Oh, okay. I just thought it'd be even cooler if you're like, wait, you're bringing a Scorpion?
Yeah. Oh crap!
Wait,
We brought a
a
Lancia
Scorpion.
Scorpion. Damn it! There's another
Oh.
one here.
That'd be so
well,
funny.
or as they walk over and they're asking for the part that breaks, they're like, "Of course we don't have one. It broke on ours too."
It's true.
Yep.
Oh,
that's it.
Mental, you will be there, correct?
I
We're going to
will.
talk about that later. Well, we
Well,
already talked about
we'll
it.
find
and-
out.
Yeah,
I have a
exactly.
flight to Oakland. Whether or not I have a car that will get me to Sonoma is a decision to be left to several rental car companies. So.
Absolutely.
But
I can't wait for the rental car game next week.
Yeah, minor correction to the email that got sent out. They're still using the form email from the COVID era that says no bribes, but we did have an official meeting. The cooties come from people, not stuff. So again, bring Kim some socks. She's had a hard week, and bring me some booze.
Hey, Chris, I don't know if you heard this or not, but the bribes are back.
I did hear that.
It only gets mentioned like 9 times a show. Recent results. Lucky Dog ran the Indy Motorsports in Arizona for the Saber Dog GP. 28 cars Saturday. All the top 3 were on the lead lap. First was the Subframe Racers, number 826, who edged out Colfab by 59 seconds. And 90 seconds later was Occupy Pit Lane. We know those guys. Sunday had Colfab in full leaps over the next car. That was Drunky Wrench and a lap behind Team Phantom.
That was my typo. It was a full lap.
A full lap. Thank you.
Lemons
Full leaps. That's how many laps is a leap?
Exactly.
a
Lemons
lot.
was, of course, in beautiful Nolans for the Can't Get By You. Now, the Ginger's Cheaty BMW E34, not that cheaty one, the other cheaty one, the 777. They won. They won by a full 10 laps over Tetanus, who was just running a brilliant race, but they were outgunned. However, that night I was on an airplane. They bought the entire Lemon staff dinner. Can't be hating. Those guys drove a clean race. We saw them once for tech, never talked to them again. It was a good time. Class B was won by projectile dysfunction in the probably last ever V6 MX3 that exists. The one with the one piston that goes down, very narrow, not even a V6. I think it's got a single head.
It's like an early VR, but it does have 2 heads, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
It is 2 heads.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay. This was after Lapdogs munched an axle in their impossibly quick Maxima. What's funny is both of those teams were arguing that they don't belong in B, and they were doing quite well. C was that G6 that got the judge's choice at MSR Houston, the Pontiac G6, the GM sound of power. We got to hear that every time he came on the straightaway. Org choice. This is Winded Warriors in a Dodge Dakota. Those guys were so lemony. It was their first ever race. The Dakota was payment for a debt that the guy owed. He's like, look, man, you got to make this right. And the guy just gave him a truck. He had a bed cover that came from the wall of his neighbor's barn that he stole after it collapsed. He doesn't like his neighbor very much. They slept there in a tent at the track, and they used wood and rocks that they found to hold the tent down because it was in the paddock. And they show up with, they've got a PVC intake. They painted the whole thing up like an American flag. It is still sitting at stock ride height. And we started to feel bad for them, but they were really having a great time. The guy says, yeah, we brought a Lemons car and everyone else brought race cars. We didn't realize this is going to happen. I think maybe they passed like one person and they were so excited about it. Great bunch of folks. I got screwed. The Outliers in a Tow-Mater Miata. This is a saga, so I apologize. But they were there, blew up on Friday's test and tune, scrambling for an engine. While one guy is out trying to buy an engine, he gets a text from the team, says, we found one. We'll see you tonight. Go pull the engine. Comes back in there. They drove to Gulfport, Mississippi, bought a running and driving Mazda Miata for $2,500, drove it back with no tags, yanked the motor out of it, drop it in Tow-Mater, doesn't make the green flag, won't run. Sunday, they're just kind of sitting around and they go to put a for sale sign on this now engineless, surprisingly clean Miata, and the Miata team next to them just kind of yells, how much? And they sold it, I want to say, for probably less than $100 to them right there.
5-pack.
Yeah, a 5-pack of beer. Heroic Fix. So it was the 192 Breaking Bads. They usually show up with a couple of cars, and this is their LS swapped E36. Kind of the same story. They pop an engine on Friday. They go on the hunt for an engine. As they are driving off the track, a truck comes by with a wrecked Yukon on the trailer. We need that engine. So they go to chase him down, get stuck behind a school bus on the freeway. The guy hauling the Yukon has trailer problems, has to pull over. They pull over. We need that engine. He's like, no, I'm going to fix this one, but I've got another one in my shop. So they pay him for it. They get it back to the track. It's got a hole in the crank. They showed me like on the crankshaft, like it is awful. They somehow find a third engine Friday night. They take the green flag Saturday morning, run this thing all weekend.
Wow.
On Sunday, they have another issue. Their oil pan gasket starts to go and they can't find an oil pan gasket. So they just coat it with Carpra RTV, wrap the engine in ratchet straps, and then take it off the engine mounts and set it on the front subframe so that it compresses and the RTV sets. And then they took it out for 5 laps, would come in, check the oil, take it out for 5 laps, come in and check the oil, because finally, for the first time in 3 engines, they have a dipstick. This was the guys that had the
that didn't have a dipstick. Yeah.
So, but they don't have a dipstick, but they did have a gourmet chef on their race team who brought over this smoked tuna and arugula thing for the judges on Saturday. That was stunning. And then he had these steak sandwiches that he made on Sunday that were amazing.
Don't expect that in our paddock.
No.
Regional was 2 wrongs and a right. It was the half-ass Beetles. They showed up at MSR with one of the new Beetles. They solid mid-pack team. So what does he decide? The right answer is 2 more Beetles. brings like the whole family. They had the fast turbo Beetle that they were, oh no, come on, leave us in Class C. No, that one actually munched a head gasket the first hour, never saw the track again, got left at the track. Then they had the automatic slow Beetle that turned more laps than all of them. And then they had their middle of the road Beetle that also gave them problems. They kept coming through there. Great team. Judge's choice was 9 lives in a Porsche 914. Their opening argument of how cheap their car is a laminated copy of Steph Schrader's article in Panorama magazine about, no, we followed this and she said it's really easy to race a Porsche. And they're showing pictures and one of them is me under it at New Orleans trying to fix the fuel system. I'm like, you have already gone down such the wrong path. They just great times. The Org Chorus, yeah, we talked about that one already. And then the IOA was a 77 Dodge Monaco. The guy brought 2 of them. Normally everyone thinks, oh, Blues Brothers. No, they did it up like the cop car from Live and Let Die, which took place in New Orleans. It was awesome.
I saw a great judge picture.
They passed somebody on Sunday. Yes. And so we had to strap them to the roof and they drove around the paddock apologizing if they're bad driving. And the owner of the car said, I told them if they had to do that, they had to do it wearing Devo helmets, make them wear it again. And he brought them Devo helmets. What a wonderful team. Great guys. That car is just amazing. And he had his other Blues Brothers replica Dodge Monaco with him in the paddock. I know that was really long. Thank you for bearing with me. It was a perfect season opener.
Nice. Awesome. We're going to move on to listener feedback. Just real quick, I'm going to say AJ on the YouTubes, right down there in the doodly-doo, looked at Kim's dong picture and said, the photo on that Kim shared was really weird. Usually the little prick is inside the BMW.
So I
Nice
posted
joke.
the picture of the bribe haul because it's back. And Nolan's really stepped up. Now, some dude, Jeff, said, bring me the Bodine sausage. Sorry, Eric had laid claim to that already. Somebody else,
Yummy.
Chrissy, said, wow, that's a lot. I know what you claimed is yours. Yes, it was the White Claws. No, it was the, I now have more tequila than Mexico. On the Insta, Fat Crack was praising the HEB Texas Heat Trail Mix proper. Also the Buc-ee's Nuggets, worth mentioning. And Sajeev was jealous and said, sweet. And Lady A said, it's time to get crunk again. And she is right.
I posted some pictures on of our painting job inside the 3 on Insta, and I got some feedback about the color. Dr. Donnie says you had an opportunity to use a metallic bass boat red, and you chose not. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. And under that comment, Dan3 Drive said that plot only works if you take plot only works best if the flakes are big enough to clog the wide open spray nozzle. Thanks for not liking.
We need more bass boat flake. Bass boat flake is fantastic.
Levins does need more bass boat. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
if you're
go
wondering
get some
how
for
to
the
theme
Z.
your car, if you're learning how to
so
theme your car, just go ahead and throw some bass boat on it.
Yep. We posted some pictures of the gauge panel. It looked like it belonged to the car. Dan3 Drives made fun of the cat food box that I use as a template and said, savory chicken. You're so right.
I didn't even see that.
I don't think he was making fun of you. I think he was actually thinking that would be really good right now.
No, it's
Savory
really just
chicken.
It's just
Chicken cat
pate.
food.
Like nobody likes
exactly.
chicken pate cat food.
Cat food. No,
The cat
smells,
does, but
smells terrific. Austin Miniman asked if we were keeping the climate controls, and Mental assured him that yes, we are. We have learned that lesson. We're keeping the air conditioning because it works if the car ran and stuff.
I don't know if I mentioned this, but every time you get into Z, or at least every time I get into Z, my knee turns on the rear wiper.
Yeah, that's you.
we're about to lose that stock in 3,
Yeah.
2.
No, it's a rotary dial.
No,
It's on
but
the
Jim-
inside.
And Jim's foot is going to knock the
You're gonna
pod off
rock
the other
the
side that
whole
controls the
thing off.
lights.
Yeah. We did I Suck at Racing. We definitely suck at racing. We were not at this week's dirt sprints and the trash sprints at Barber and the dirt oval. Mental was at the race and we were all building race cars. So
It was early this week. It was at 5
yeah,
o'clock,
it was
so-
like a 5 o'clock. And we had some discussion on the Monday. Is that the normal time or is that we don't know?
No.
No, It
No.
looks like that one was moved, but
Got
I couldn't find anything about this one, the timing for this one.
I have no idea who gave the commentary, but I'll say good job anyway. This Sunday, the crew will be doing the Sundora at beautiful Oran Park, since it's the holiday and most of us sort of celebrate. I don't know. Chances are that we won't be there again, but you should totally check it out because we know basically all the drivers and they're all awesome and they do such a good job. And the YouTube coverage is fantastic. And if we're not there, it might actually be like pithy and intelligent. But anyway, back to the normal time, starting at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Find it on Facebook, Twitch, or the YouTubes.
And even if you don't, just turn it on and walk away so that Bearded Sim Racer gets the hits.
Oh,
Yeah.
good call. Just leave it on in the background. You never know if you're going to be listening.
Look, you're going to be eating whatever the rabbit themed holiday dinner with your family. So just say,
Or
hey,
or chicken cat food.
yeah, whatever. Just turn
Savory,
it on
though.
the TV and be like, hey, my friends are racing. You can all leave now.
Yep.
That happens at our house.
Speaking of racing, we went to Oran Park this week for our E1R invitational race. Not really invitational. It's invitational if you have the damn password. In the first race, it was all B-class cars. Most of everyone was in Skippies, and those in Miatas complained, and those in Volkswagens complained.
Also complained, yeah.
Yep. But apparently it was fun. We don't really know who
Do you
won.
remember who won, Jeff?
The first race? No.
No, I don't either.
No.
The lesson learned here
No.
is if the Skippy's available, take the Skippy. It's
The
a great-
No, the
Yeetage-
Skippy was-
Yeetage was
The Yeetage was fantastic. We had a
amazing.
great crash fest.
Oh, it just kept going.
They have that great
Bridge.
bridge at Oran Park. Yeah.
Yeah. Second race was a lot faster cars. We were having some technical issues and required restarts, and it was not going to happen by the time the race started for me. So I bailed, unfortunately, because
we waited for you. We were like, will he get back in? Will he get back in?
Nope. It just wasn't working.
We were
So,
gigablast. I was gigablasting.
Yeah.
when
and I was giga blasting
driving.
worse, like in the way of people, and nope. Bummer.
So I have
how
no
was that
idea who
second
won.
race?
It was fun. Did the complaining stop? No. Everyone just complained, my car is too fast. Actually, Ush Levine showed up and he was killing it. So I think he won.
My
So-
cars. I hear those words, but in that order, it makes no sense. to me.
At Oran Park, I'm not surprised.
It's a
we
tight
kept
little twisty track.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
walls
Like
and
turn
stuff.
one, we were sliding off. Everybody would slide right off, no
I
matter
should say,
what.
everybody was laughing their ass off at how inappropriate like the Aussie supercar is at Oran Park. And then like who was there? Bish was there in like the 74 Monte Carlo or 87 Monte Carlo, and that's dressed up like a slab. And it was freaking hilarious because his car was slower than all the rest of it, but his actually like could go around the turns. So it was pretty funny.
Things people don't have to say about the 87s.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could go around the turn. That's good.
Yep.
Do you know? Oh, go ahead.
I don't have one. Go ahead.
Oh, all right. I was gonna say, you know who could always go around the turn? Chrissy's mom.
Hi, Chrissy's mom.
I had Chrissy's mom's whatever. What was that cookie? The peanut butter and jelly cookie?
Oh
I
yeah.
had that for breakfast this morning
Oh, did you? That's lovely.
with my coffee at work. Thank you,
I-
Chrissy's mom.
Will these be at Pittsburgh? These peanut butter and jelly cookies. This is
Yeah.
this is new. I have not heard of these.
They're
They're-
always there.
They're bars. They're always there.
Yeah, they're like bars. They're good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay. I was thinking an actual cookie. All right, no, I know that one. Yes. And
Don't
is-
challenge her. These are delicious.
No,
and they're-
no. Because I feel bad that she'll overdo it. We just in the rarity is what makes them so special. That and the love she puts in them.
So much.
Main topic time.
Okay, so this week we are reflecting on a listener post who was amazed that we seem to be ready for the season opener and can't believe what we've accomplished.
We wrote this before we knew that the Mazda got angry.
Well, sure. I mean, for the most part, which we'll touch on. It's been a while since we've really talked about the team and plans for this year. So we're going to take some time tonight to give you all the 411 on Three Pedal Mafia season. So for those who you may not realize, Three Pedal Mafia isn't just the voices on this podcast. Our race team involves a whole lot more people and other cars we talk about, but we realize that you guys may not really know who we're talking about.
We're going to do a brief history here. It's not going to be that long and that winded, but we've been together for, about 11 years racing in lemons. I think 10 years ago, we came up with the name Three Pedal Mafia. We started with Chris's mom's old Civic. There was a Wago van, all-wheel drive Wago van. And our very first race we won with a different team and a different team name. We had a Wartburg, and it won IOE, and everybody thought we were the greatest thing ever, and we thought it was fantastic. And so we got this Civic.
Terrible.
The car was terrible. We brought this Civic, which was a much better car, but nobody looked at us. Even though an all-wheel drive Civic is pretty damn rare, it just didn't have the visual appeal that some of the other ones are. So we kind of started a conglomerate, and we started a second car, and we built the boat. Many of you have heard about the boat. We've talked about that. And we did
Go to our welcome video. It opens the welcome.
There you
video.
go.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right.
Chris doing the ceremonial burnout.
Yes, which we will get a burnout picture of our current cars. So we just kind of went hog wild and really just started building multiple cars and inviting friends, and then they would build a car, and we kind of became like this mafia. There's like kind of like families and like sections. There's the New York crew and the New Jersey crew and the Philly crew, and we all kind of hang out. We all kind of like each other, and we cook together, and we have a great time. But it's the moral of the story here is we've been together a long time. We've done a lot, and there are a hell of a lot of us. We are like the Borg. We just kind of just keep expanding and expanding and expanding. So a lot of the people that we talk about who listen to this podcast and call in, and we shout them out, they're our teammates, and we're going to cover that. But I'm going to talk about the three kind of basic core groups we have. We have the Cressida group. We have the Betty group, and we have kind of the core group. So the core group is Chrissy, Chris, Jeff, and my brother Jim. And we kind of all live in the Philadelphia area, and we build the Z and the Honda and the, some of these other cars you've heard, and the Mazda. And we kind of been together for the whole entire time. The other hanger-ons, we kind of a New York crew, and they drive a car called Black Betty. And Black Betty is a Mazda RX-7 second generation. I think it was a turbo 2 body, but it no longer has a Wankel rotary. It has a Chevy V6 3800 naturally aspirated that is amazing. We don't have to say much about Betty. Mental actually drove her at a chump car, right?
AER
before it ever came to our team.
Drove it to a podium.
Yeah, it is.
And that was when the handling was evil too. So
yeah,
no power steering. I was in that damn thing for 4 hours.
Yeah. So I know we're going to talk about the people, but that's basically the Bruce and Greg crew, and that's going to come up in a little bit later. But they do mainly the wrenching on that one, and Darren joins them, and they got a bunch of hanger-ons that come in, and they're great. And then that is probably the fastest car currently in the Three Pedal Mafia crew. We'll see how the Z does. And it has never won.
Second.
They love to step on their wiener. They love to get just a little too drunk and not make the green flag. They should win. And we're going to talk about some things later, but we're rooting for them to win. The Cressida is next, and the Cressida is that guy who just punches above his weight class. There is no reason that Cressida should do as well as it does, and damn if that thing isn't in single digits every dang race like clockwork. This is why people race Toyotas, people, because it just works. Any idea what year the Cressida is, Chris?
86.
86, and it no longer has the original motor in it. It has a 6M.
Yeah, it's a stock plus swap. It's a slightly better version of the original that bolts into the original spot and original everything else.
And
basically.
It is still the 2.7, not the 3.0, although they have a 3.0. They put it in once. It broke. It was terrible. So they went back to the old one. And that thing is just as consistent as a Timex watch, man. It is great. Easy to
fuel
drive,
economy.
good fuel
Yeah.
economy, looks crazy. It's orange. It says Cheaties on the side. Everybody knows it. And everybody knows Uncle Dave. Uncle Dave is the car owner. So we talk about him frequently when we're doing the iRacing because he is also half alien in iRacing. I think that's kind of like the 3 core teams, but we have Mental in Vegas and we got people down in South Carolina, and Pantless Matt joins us all the time. So I know we're going to talk about
Eric's
some of those
always
people.
helping
Eric,
out.
absolutely. Hamza, people know Hamza. He's like kind of a hanger on. He's got his own car. He's got a red E36. So yeah, we are all the 3 pedal mafia. The little crew you're hearing now is Everyone Racers, but we are much larger than that when we travel to the track.
Thanks for that.
Yeah.
I would argue also that this was the establishment of the business model that has allowed probably the last half dozen national champions to be national champions.
Not always us, you bastards. You take our job, you do it better.
But the thing is having friends at the track is always good if just for mutual support. We could talk about the names real quick. You got Betty, it's Greg and Bruce, sometimes Darren, and usually they've got a couple of rotating guest drivers. What that you went through on that one. The BMW, that's usually the one that we bring when one of the core cars isn't going to make it.
Hamza's car that he very nicely usually has prepared and ready to go for when we need it.
Yeah, and it's only failed us one time. Some idiot in South Carolina broke it hard.
Then left.
Yeah, car's not working. I'm going
That
to
was
another
the big
track.
fail.
Yeah.
It didn't do well at pit the last time we were there. That's the time we brought the BMW.
needed
and
a radiator.
Cooling,
Yeah.
cooling issue.
It
But we were
ran
out
most
most
of the
of.
time.
I feel like we were out for a little while on that day.
It was better than the TR, but that doesn't say much.
No.
I
Yeah.
love the TR.
But so you said we have South Carolina. We got we missed Dishwashing Fairy.
Oh
Steve,
yeah, who is also
Georgia.
in
He's
the Carolinas somewhere, right?
Atlanta,
There you
he's,
go.
yeah, Georgia.
Same
but
thing.
Not even
the South.
and I think he's driven most of the cars, but I think he's really found his place in the Cressida because that's what Steve does. Is he just adapts to a team and he is always an asset.
Well, I kind of pushed them together when Aaron and Dave needed a reliable third driver who was not going to break the car, not going to get in the way when Aaron's working on it, was going to help out as much as they could.
Not going to scratch his wiener and spin out and get a black flag.
Yep. And whose money was green and would pay on time. And Steve is all of those things and never flags.
Yeah, it's just always great to have around. Just good person.
Yeah.
I want to. We talked about this. We'll go down the wrong rabbit hole. I think the Cressida is exactly why an endurance car. If you look at it, it's everything that Chris just said, which is how you win an endurance race.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, but let's. And this is kind of a round robin bit of a thing. So I have had to step away. My employment was not certain at the start of 2021. It's still I'm still waiting on a callback on a couple of things, but right now the lights are on. So when I went to cancel all of my races, the lovely Kim and Eric said, well, if you're not going to be racing all these races, what are you going to be doing? And they've offered me a position, which blossomed into really 2 positions. So I am now, I don't have like one of those cool titles like shit show prevention manager or everything. Not yet. So if you've got an idea, throw it in our social media, but I'm going to be eventually taking over the logistics once I can get a rental car and get all the crap over here. And I will be doing a lot of the judging. So I will be at Sonoma. Obviously I'll be at Pit Race. I'll be at Sebring. And that's,
you should have stepped up and gotten your own damn rental car to show how effective a logistics manager you can be.
No.
Had an idea. Came to Kim with this process because I found that a round trip in a U-Haul cargo van was only going to cost $440, and that's with the mileage. Kim, because she's awesome, does not do that to her people. You don't get crappy seats on an airplane. You don't get crappy flights unless you specifically say I have to be someplace by a certain time. She doesn't, and she doesn't give people crappy rental cars. When Kim handles your travel, you ride comfort.
Your budget cargo van was going to be the same as a U-Haul van.
I can't believe I can't believe that you didn't buy like an Odyssey or something.
All thoughts that
the
plan 6 is Lemons owns the upside down Camaro, and we'll strap all the crap to that, and I'll just drive it back. That's Nick sent me that picture today. So I will be showing up at all these races, but unfortunately, I will not be driving. And as many as wonderful friends that I've had of Lemons that said, "Hey man, just take a break and hop in the car." I thank you for the offer. It's kind of against, I have very few moral things that I stick my, hang my hat on. And one of them is when I'm paid to work, I work. So I will not be racing at a Lemons race that I'm working. The only time you've seen me do that is when I show up at a Lemons race to race and Eric or Kim goes, "I need you to help out." And in which case I do that. But so for this year, I don't even pack the suit and the helmet. Don't bring it with me. Don't need the temptation. I feel bad having say, I work for Lemons. Any other series you'll be at, there's a champ car race coming up here, and I'm working with Pantless Matt and Dean, and those guys are thinking about taking champagne showers out for that. And I got a track day coming up here in next weekend, and also I'll be hanging out with the vintage racing folks that same weekend. They'll be in Pahrump, and ideally I'll be doing some instruction with them when I have free weekends.
Cool. We should mention that the list of hanger-ons is deep and plentiful. So I could hear you tapping right now on the doodly do. I'll take mental seat. We have plenty of friends in the conglomeration.
You don't join the mafia, all right? The mafia comes.
The mafia invites you, son of a. Never mind.
That's not wrong, though.
Yeah, it's true.
We haven't gotten a noob in a seat in our car in 6 years at this point. I think like it's only just friends. And
well, even those
most
friends
of those
who,
people have their own team.
I can already hear the Giant Dave, who wrote us a very, very nice post on his social medias, who is a friend. He's not a noob.
And a hanger on, yeah.
But he's
and
not
his
a
own
noob.
team. Yeah.
Yes, but there are people that are even friends that when we have a seat, we go down the list and figure out who can show up.
Yeah.
We
and
do not have a
Giant
seat.
Dave is definitely on the list. He might have a seat this spring. So
you're not muscling Giant Dave out of anything.
No.
None of you are as good as he is.
No.
Yeah. So we missed a section there, a little bit more of the history of the cars we've had.
Oh, I'm so
Mostly
sorry.
so we can get people to stop suggesting that we do a boat.
We did a boat.
Here's my robot arms. I found this Rolls Royce. Somebody should do it. That sounds really fun. Don't.
Yeah. So we started off with the 58 Wartburg 311 that was became a rear-wheel drive Subaru powered monstrosity that was terrible. Second,
I love that car.
It was awful. Second was, well, quick, we got to get something together, and none of us really knew how to fab yet. Like I kind of could weld, enough, so we did, and because my mom gave us her 91 Civic 4-wheel drive manual transmission wagon that would not pass inspection, so we had that, and that was fine until the rust finally got so bad in the structural elements that we.
I'm gonna say that driving that Civic really made a lot of us better drivers.
Oh yeah,
because
all
it was
momentum.
the easy button.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody could ever spin that thing like twice in the opening laps.
No, only a complete jerk could possibly do that.
Mental's raising his hand for those of you who are listening in Podcastville.
In my defense, we weren't quite racing yet. It was it was lap
warm-up lap.
Yeah, it was lap 1.
Yeah,
it's even worse. I think.
So then
it is so worse. Yeah,
decided it'd be a great idea if we took a boat and put it on something and raced it. And Lemon thought it was a great idea too.
The anniversary is right now.
Yeah, really. So we got a truck, S10, and made an exo frame and got a Sea Sprite boat for $100 and cut a hole in the bottom and put it on the truck.
I'm gonna do this. Guys. That's cool.
In 2012.
Right. I got a point there. Right there. I'm gonna link the video of all the boat stuff. So right now you're seeing links if you're in YouTubeville of boat.
Yep.
You know what was great in the rain?
The boat. The boat was great. We raced that for a long time. It was a lot of fun. It was fairly reliable. It was a way better racer than any other hat car I've ever seen out there. And came in as high as 20th overall, won an IOE and a half, won C class, and We water skied behind it a lot until
I'm
stunt
on
and
a
Exploding
boat.
got outlawed. I'm on a
Never
boat
got old.
nope,
It
still
never
funny.
got old.
Yep, it was great. The at the parade in Camden, that was a big hit, of course. But it was wonderful. So then we
It
decided
was a great way to. I'm sorry. It was a great way to separate new teams from like old teams. People like boat. That thing's got to be a rolling chicane, and all the old heads would be like, I don't think you know the boat.
Yeah. Then once the original Civic died of rust, we got another Civic. It's an 89 hatch that most of you all know by this point, that has gone through several variations and iterations and engines and levels of speed, and eventually won an overall, and now is no more, really, thanks to a wheel at New Hampshire. But it will be reborn. Mecha Godzilla will come back. But that car was a Woody station wagon. It was a Springtime for Hitler tank. It was Mr. Fister.
Mr. Fister still was
Hilarious.
The best.
Yeah,
Oh.
Mr. Fister. Then it was Punk's Not Dead. Then it's back to Mr. Fister. Then it was a giraffe. And then it was Godzilla. All of these things had a big 6-foot PVC pipe sticking out of the roof. That was, I won $1 on a bet that it would last more than a race. And
It lasted like 12
years.
races.
All of them. Yes.
Yeah.
Years and years.
Yeah.
In the meantime, we also had a 1969 Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow that we legitimately bought for $1,000.
Can I say that I think that was the worst car we ever drove?
Sure. Yeah.
The
Yes.
furthest away from an actual race car.
Agreed.
Yep. Because you couldn't touch the brakes. It had great power. You could run over any curb and not feel it. It was like running
It was
over a peasant.
So heavy.
Yep.
It was so
And
heavy. The
but
doors were
brakes,
heavy.
well, because we left the chain-driven window regulators and all the wood trim and all of the things in it.
put the back seat in. We
Yeah,
took
we
it
did.
out.
We
and
did.
Put,
It was a very
'cause
lovely.
We sat in it.
backseat.
It was. Yeah.
I
that car's
mentioned
terrible.
that to a team. Yeah, I mentioned that to a team that blah 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 Rolls Royce. They're like, oh, was that Viper powered one up in Michigan? No, that one was a pretender to the throne. This was the
real
Rolls.
Rolls Royce.
So then we did a Citroen SM.
That was the most frustrating car we've ever
Yep.
owned.
Still is. And
Because we still own it.
yeah.
Anybody want
Although
one? You want a
one of
Citroen?
that has to be one of our
You
top
have a
3 best
team
themes, though.
that keeps
Like,
there's every YouTube that we mention this, we either get an email or a comment in the YouTube. There's somebody that wants to buy that Citroen.
please let us know.
Check off. Somebody says Citroen incorrectly on your bin.
It's Royan.
Yeah.
Go on.
No, you're all wrong. Anyway, one of the 3 best themes we ever had with the S&M theme.
Absolutely.
That was
Absolutely.
uncomfortable for everyone but us. We thought it was hilarious.
Next to I'm on a boat, especially only because that one was original.
Springtime for Hitler also.
Oh, that
pretty
was
good.
also
It's
good.
pretty
Yeah.
good.
Springtime
this
for
is-
Hitler was uncomfortable for everyone, including us. We were. Oh,
Yeah. Let's see what else. Then what else we had for cars? Then we had the Isuzu Ombre, which was some of the bits under the boat ended up under that, and that's now. with
We
Garage
should
Heroes.
mention what happened, how we got the Isuzu Ombre. We basically had retired the boat. Oh no, wait, I'm sorry. The boat was like rusty and
the truck was
trashed,
falling off from
truss was
under
fa-
the
was falling off.
boat.
and we were just basically lamenting that someday we're just going to have to get rid of the boat.
because it had been
And-
hit on all 4 quarters multiple
Oh,
times. And
Yeah.
Chris had
And-
exhausted his fiberglass repair skills, which on a boat are extensive.
And somebody said, "Hey, I got an S10. You want it? It's been crashed, but it's awesome."
I'll deliver it to New Jersey. And Jeff lives down the street from New Jersey. Okay.
Yep.
And then we
Deal.
deposited it in the front, your parents' front yard.
We were so like, you know what? We've had a good run in the Chevy S10 platform and we are ready to move on. We had come to grips to not run a truck anymore. And man, we ran a truck for another like 3 years
Yep.
And it still lives.
and it still
Yeah.
lives.
Totally does. So then that went to Garage Heroes, and we started building our 300ZX, and the Civic got retired. Now we got the Mazda. So that's kind of the car history. So so I guess sit rep and all these, the Mazda everything was going quite well until tonight when it got mad at me with the security system. So I still don't know exactly how I'm going to fix that. Either I can find a way to make the connections the ECU thinks it needs to see to bypass that, or God forbid, I might have to actually bring it to a dealer to plug into to get the security system stuff to
Holy
go away.
Oh,
Crap.
Yeah, I know. Can you imagine what that
Oh,
conversation is going to be like?
Not gonna go well.
No.
I think
mean, it's our
there's a
car.
potential.
Yeah.
Registered. I'm here. It's me.
Yeah, it's
Right.
our legally owned car, and it we have it, and we're just doing something different with it. And but different is when there's no button for that. That's when it gets hard.
I think you roll up the cage, and the service guy is like,
We're
for
not
the
exactly
service.
going to roll up like I'm
You
gonna pull up
can't
with the
drive
trailer,
it.
and it has to get pushed.
Before people, four people be like, "Oh God, what do they do this thing?" But there'll be that one technician who goes, "Whoa, whoa, and it's a 2.5. Whoa, and it's a 6-speed. Yeah, that's your tech."
Yeah.
And
Or
that's
you have
your
to
guy.
or you have to bring the NSX, because that when you go to a dealer with the NSX, it gets
You get better
eyes
service.
every
It's
time.
But it's true.
unless
Thinking
it's
about
a
what-
Honda dealer trying to sell a Type R.
No,
Yeah,
when I went
that's
to
the only one that didn't
to
care.
get the parts for the Z, when I had to go to that GMC, remember I had to go to the GMC
Yes.
dealer? Oh my God, the guy came out to me and he wanted to talk to me and he was like, oh, I saw an NSX once, and I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
cool. Where's the
And you're
service?
He
wearing,
did
like-
he did the ring, the uncomfortable
Dirties.
ring check. He was like, "Is she wearing a wedding?"
I'm
ring?"
like in
Yeah.
my
You're like-
Carhartts. No, I don't even know. Yes, I'm sure I always wear my ring, but I was in my Carhartts, and I was just like, can you just tell me where the parts desk is, please? Like, yes. Look at the NSX. All right. Anyway, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to stop.
So anyway, the Mazda was coming along quite well until that, but I'm sure I will be able to solve it. It's just going to be with extra frustration. The Jeff can talk about the Z. Eventually, we're going to need another Honda, which someday, when we're ready for that, we'll really start looking for a new chassis. But if you happen to know of a 92 to 95 non-sunroof 2-door, so that's either coupe or hatch 2-door, with no rust and a low price, let us know. We don't really care about anything else aside. Doesn't need an engine.
Be
Doesn't
a
need a transmission.
DX, a
East Coast
SI,
might-
No EX, no SI, because
Oh.
those have sunroofs. I want a slick top chassis.
Ah, got it.
So it has to
East
be a
Coast,
DX,
please.
DXCX, one of those. Yeah. Low price, just a shell. That's all we need, because none of the rest of it's going to survive.
Mental's got his hand up, and he lives in the
All right.
desert. Let's see what he has to say.
And I'm going to sound like a jerk just because I'm not there for a lot of the conversations, but that is it. 92, 95, because this target range has moved, and I've got a
No,
Facebook
it's the same
purchase.
target range it's been for a long time. You just keep
Uh,
pulling up 96 to 2000 cars, and I keep saying no.
somebody,
no,
because
no.
there was a conversation potentially about an MR2 and potentially about a coupe.
You talking to Jeff?
Coupe is
because
still,
Jeff
I still said a
doesn't know.
coupe is
Coupe
fine.
is okay. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So
It's
yes,
a
but I
two-door,
do-
a two-door, whether it's coupe or hatch, all of that's okay.
okay. I
No
feel like
sunroof.
yeah. All right. I feel like the clown who crashed it should have to provide it.
I'm okay with that. Just 92 to 95.
Yep.
2 doors, no sunroof.
And
Keep it
I'm in
automatic,
the
don't care.
West. Yeah, I'm in the West, so I can come get it if it runs. Actually, even if it doesn't run, I can come get it. If it does run, that makes it easier because that's an epic adventure driving one
Yeah.
to Philadelphia.
One that runs poorly, making one last trip with just mental and a
That's
Harbor Freight
fantastic.
toolkit. That's fun.
Yes, because I'll take all the seats out of it. It'll be fantastic. Yes,
Yep.
that's an adventure.
Cool.
Plans outside of Lemons this year. I have to redo the boat again, not as much as last time, but still a lot.
Which-
and then plan to
which-
use the
which
boat a lot. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry, the
just-
Boston. We have a 17-foot Boston whaler. It's been in my family since I was 12.
Do you want to
Playing
hear
good
the
kid caught a
sadness
lot.
and the saga? Listen to all shows from
June and
April-
like May to June.
May to
Last year,
July.
yeah.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't in 4th
It's true.
of
It's
July.
in July. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
But we
hey,
didn't- we
Chris,
didn't really
what are you
start on
working
that.
on? Sand in the Whaler.
Yeah. We didn't really start on that based on my photo fixtures in my phone until like May 25th, really.
Right.
So anyway, yeah, that was a tough project last year. It's gonna be a lot better this time. Not nearly as much to do. Gonna go to some NASA events, hopefully. HPD stuff. Yeah, that's about it.
Cool.
Jeff.
Yeah, you mentioned that I'm going to give the situation on the Z. So this year is a bizarre year for us. So the last couple of years, we have been working very hard to win, right, Chrissy? And we got rid of the Ombre, and we did not replace it right away. We got the Z, but the Z kind of frustrated us and would not run. So we had one car for a very long time, and we had to cut out a lot of our friends from being able to race. So this year, one of the reasons I think we have the Mazda 3 is to make sure that we have enough seats for all of our friends. Then one of them,
Not
like,
all
gets,
of them, but some of them.
yeah, so yeah, we don't have enough, but like, then that guy gets a job with Lemons, so that kind of frees up some more space. But really, we're gonna spend a lot of time shaking down and making the Z into a reliable race car. We bought that engine out of a junkyard. We bought 2 of them for the price of one. And it is an unknown.
Jeff, why did you buy 2?
Because we're pretty sure one of them is going to blow up.
That was your wife.
Oh yes, she did. She
know,
did say,
I know.
"Why do you have 2 motors?"
Right. I know why.
Because they were $150 each. You can't say no.
Yes. So you bastards out there that are going to say we're cheating, that is absolutely true. That is a $150 motor. That was way cheap. Oh, there's a picture of Chris and Chrissy sanding. That's actually my house in North Jersey.
Yeah, that's fixing the boat race car that had gotten crunched at Monticello.
Yeah.
That's not the Whaler.
No, still sad.
It was still
yeah.
sad, yeah. So we're gonna spend a good chunk of this year shaking down the Z, and that's why we have a Mazda 3 to really be a nice, consistent car. So some of us and some of our friends get some laps. Yeah, we don't know if that thing's gonna fly or drive, or we're pretty sure it's gonna go around once or twice. After that, we're building, we're fixing, and we're trying to make it better. So there was a discussion actually from the New Orleans race that robot arms. I brought a $500 car. Everyone else brought a race car. You don't realize
that wasn't them. That wasn't robot arms, but I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, no, there was some robot arms on the Facebook pages that I do not think was. Yeah, not the team that you were talking about. It was a different team, probably. It takes years and years for these cars to get that good. We raced that Honda for a very, very, very long time before it could top 10. And it took us 2.5 years between top 10ing and to being able to win. Mostly because we don't bring boring BMWs, but that's a side point.
That was like 5 motors later.
Yeah.
Between the top 10 and the win.
Yeah. So, So, a lot. And by the way, we're okay getting the heat and $500 car my ass. I'm just telling you right now, we know how to play the game. That is 100% sweat effort. And you too can put a 4.8 liter LS in whatever you want, but it's a terrible idea. Go listen to those shows that I'm linking right there. But yeah, we're going to do a lot of shakedown this year.
Or the cheaty BMW that went through 3 motors in a weekend.
Yeah. So we are not expecting a lot of success this year. We are expecting to have a good time and really just enjoy the track and enjoy our friends. And hopefully we all get the COVID shot sooner or later so we can actually I am trying. I'm close. I'm almost ready to get my appointment. But anyway, but between now and Pittsburgh, we really should talk about that. So the 2 years that we've not had a race car and I haven't had to transport a race car, my trailer and my yard and my parts and all of that have really gotten disorganized.
No way.
Gotten?
No.
I had no idea.
I should say every time a part comes off the Z, it gets stored somewhere.
Stored.
And I don't have any
Air
storage.
quotes.
So that a lot of that crap is living in my enclosed trailer because I don't have a big shed to put it all in. So Bazinga, if you are listening, you are about to get gifted a whole lot of Z parts because we don't need them anymore.
Also 300 zombie Z. You guys are
we don't live near them.
No, but they can come up there and get it.
Yes, if they want it and they're willing to come get it. We got a motor, we got wiring harnesses, we got a lot of stuff they can have.
Good
A
team.
lot of new parts that never really got used.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
They're building
Bought
Jetta.
stuff, didn't even install it.
Yep.
I think
if
we have
you're-
like 4 head gaskets. Do you know we have like 4 head gaskets? I don't know why.
I think they were on sale at Rock Auto. So I just said yes, more.
if you're listening to this podcast, you're thinking about getting into racing. And I remember when I was still working a lot with Extreme Experience, one of the instructors was like, "Oh, have you guys heard about this Lemons thing? We should totally go. We'd totally win." If you think you're going to show up with a new build, a new team, and you're going to win, you're an idiot. And that's not just Lemons. That is any racing.
You're
ever. If you
full of
don't-
enthusiasm.
Yeah, you're full of enthusiasm. Watch Drive to Survive and see how the Haas team is doing. And these are not
Oh.
this is not a bunch of like
That's sad.
noobs. You know, Haas Racing has been around. They've been an open wheel for decades. You know, but they're stepping into a new series. And so all these people that you're saying, oh, they all brought race cars. They did. And they also brought every car that is running consistently top 10 or that has a win under his belt. You're talking to a team that at least has 5, if not 10 years. Maybe not into that car, but certainly into this series.
Okay.
And no new car has ever won overall ever.
No, that giant LS swapped 914 with the fender flares and the giant wheels in New Hampshire. Put it in the wall about 3 laps in.
The infamous super cheaty, and they were honest about it being super cheaty. What is now known as the 24-second Mustang, the NASA American Iron car that the now battle scarred Motorsports brought. 24 seconds. From
Crash.
green flag
To Clang. Yeah, but so that's what we're going to do this year. We're going to have a good time and we're going to see our friends and we're going to develop and we're going to wrench our freaking bleeding knuckles off.
Casual racing with friends.
Yeah.
Bread, heels, and grease.
Yeah.
Oh, that, yes. Right.
I'm so excited to
We
actually be at the
honestly
track with you guys. I haven't been to the track with you guys for
Thompson when we
Thompson.
won. No, or
last
New
year.
Hampshire.
Yeah, but that
How
was-
about New Hampshire when
That was our
Pacific
last
got
race.
crashed?
Yeah, that was our last race,
I
dude.
mean, I wasn't
Yeah.
there.
We haven't
also
been to the
last time
track
I've
with
been to
you.
the track
Blocked
with
block
any of those.
block that
people.
one. Block that memory. Yeah.
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 And Thompson, literally
Sorry.
the last 2 times we were at the track.
Yep.
Chrissy and I like have remained sober to make sure that we were like ready for our shift.
Oh yeah, I go to bed
Like-
like way early.
Yes, we go to bed early.
Yeah.
Well, that shit is done.
Yes.
We're getting our party on, yo. Woo!
I have yet to see the bonfire at Thompson because I always have the Sunday morning start.
The no moonshine rule is still in effect.
No,
though.
it's no moonshine rule is still in
No,
effect.
You can have plenty of a vodka and plenty of vodka, and you don't need any moonshine.
Chrissy, I wrote a prompt here, and I'm excited to hear your answer. I'm going to put you on the couch.
Okay, great. Feeling about the Mazda. So my answer is I hope it's going to be as reliable as it has been on the street, because it has been dead reliable on the street.
Why don't you give us the stats of the Mazda, just for the new people?
2000
Big block Mazda.
200, yes, 250,765. We'll say. I think it was getting close to that. I've owned it since new. I think it had probably 300 miles on it when I bought it in 2007. I bought it in end of 2007 because it was on its way out, that model, that year. Yeah, I've driven most of the miles. There's been a few times where either my ex or Chris has taken it somewhere and driven it, but for the most part, I've driven all of those miles. And it's always been a stick, and I've always sit in traffic with it. So we did a motor swap and trans swap midway. What was it?
About
88?
100,000 miles ago.
100, yeah. Ago.
Mhm.
100 ago. Okay.
Mhm.
I don't remember how long.
Maybe
ago it was.
90,000 ago. Whatever.
Yeah. With some fresh parts, fresh junkyard parts rather. And yeah, and so it's been a wonderful car. It stranded at me once when it got water in the coil, and the coil went, and Chris had to come pick me up from work.
That's because I pressure washed the engine. And
This is
got
why,
down
this is
the
why it's
spark
Chris's
plug
fault. I
well.
apologize. Thank
Yep.
you. Thank
Totally
you for
my fault.
It was totally his fault. And so it really didn't mean to go, but from then on, we know that messing with a coil and pressure washing it doesn't usually do a good job.
Yep.
Yeah. So the thing is, I think it's going to be fairly slow, but I am really hopeful that it's going to be fun to drive because it's got a lot of Frankenstein bits on it. So it's got suspension's great, brakes are great. It's going to be there's going to be places that it excels, and then I feel like after getting out of the Honda, we're just going to be like, you're just going to be one of those like. Come on. I'm shaking my head for those who can't see me in podcast world. I am, yes, just like okay, let me push myself forward and I'm going to watch cars go by and I might have to point them by just because I can't go fast enough. So I kind of feel like that might happen, especially since there's some the straights at Pitt are some of them are pretty fast. The back straight coming up into 15.
Yes.
15.
Back straight's fast.
It is, and the front straight is pretty fast as well. So that's I'm a little bit concerned. But it's the thing is like step on the gas, be on the gas all the way, and then if you need, you will brake at the 1, brake at the half. We'll talk about this when we do the track walk at the pit race prep. But yeah, it will brake on a dime. You will be able to stop wherever you want.
Okay, Mental, look into Chrissy's eyes when I ask the next question. You tell me what she's feeling inside herself. Chrissy, how are you going to feel when somebody bends sheet metal on the Mazda 3?
Oh my God.
I'm very scared right now. I don't want to look at him.
I am going to be a little sad. I've already had like not quite nightmares, but like, those anxiety filled dreams of the time when somebody like wads it up just by sure it's not your fault. Somebody hits you into the wall, not your fault.
You run into a tire, not your fault.
Yeah, but still like, this is like full crashy crash. Great thing. I'm so glad that the cage was built well and it saved you kind of crash. I'm fear of that time. Not like any of our cars have had that. It's just that I don't want this one to happen. I don't want it to happen to this one.
We spent 13 years keeping that car nice. All everywhere.
No sticky change.
No sticky change.
No
and now
sticky change.
all gone.
Right?
Half of it's in the trash.
She got mad at me when I was putting in the door bars because I was scratching the paint inside the cage.
Like, don't walk by with your pants, like the little rivets on your pants, like Carhartts. Don't rub them against the door. Like, it's dumb. Like I just keep saying
this is the shiniest Lemon's car ever, maybe.
Gooby Doobies is shinier.
That's true.
I feel like that could be like a theme, like it's like a sterile sealed race car. Like,
I know what it is.
Don't.
It's white inside, it's white outside. It's
or
beautiful. Oh, except for the darn rust on the door. Oh.
The Spinal Tap the Spinal Tap Mazda. No, don't look at it. Don't scratch
don't even look at it.
Don't take it off track. It can never be played.
Not.
It can never.
And that grass is darn slippery. So second you go off, you're going for a long time.
Yep. Both feet in and settle in for a while. Wave at the
until
corner
you
worker.
hit a wall or a fence is what you
Wave
got.
at the corner worker as you go screaming at their thing and offer them cookies.
It'd be strange to have a race car with working ABS. I don't know what to do with that. Yeah.
And by the way, we're probably going to get some $500 my ass heat for that too.
Sure, but who is going to buy a 250,000 mile manual transmission getting rusty Mazda 3? Nobody.
Nope. And I won't let it go. So there's
those
that.
things. Yeah. And you can buy those things for Lemon's money all day.
Yep.
Because nobody else wants everybody else's either. And
One of them
looked better.
One of them smells like potato soup.
That's the next generation.
It is. It's dirty. It's dirtier than the one that I just took apart.
True.
All day.
Cars are appliances.
Oh,
use them like tools.
Nope.
They are not your babies. They are not your children.
That one is my baby.
I know it is. You got a problem, sister.
I just like spending time in something that's in good condition and is nice and it doesn't smell like soup and isn't trash everywhere.
Chris does not have the attachment to the Mazda 3 that Chrissy does. It is Chrissy's baby.
Sorry, not sorry.
First new car. So yeah.
Yep.
And I still have it. I didn't crash it like you. Anyway, I have a couple.
Soup.
Well, I don't know. Where's your Talon?
Talent I didn't buy new.
Okay, fine. Where's your Protege?
Protege was my wife's car new, not mine.
Whatever.
I think the
Anyway.
Mazda 3 might be the first car I ever bought for
How's your-
myself.
How's your international harvester?
Yeah, I didn't buy that new
Not
either.
it.
It was the same age I was when I bought it.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah.
I have a couple other topics. Prepping for Pittsburgh. So I was thinking, well, we've done some loose packing in our cleanup efforts, and obviously when the car is closer to done, assuming it will get done, we will start packing the trailer more. But I actually need to start packing the pit. So I have all of the stuff that I just frantically put away after it came back from New Hampshire, for which I wasn't even at, and put all the stuff that's not perishable, put it away, and all of the stuff that stays in boxes is in boxes. So I need to start getting all that out, and sure I have to go shopping for all kinds of stuff. So I have to pivot here eventually and figure out what our meals are and what is needed for all that. So I have plenty of stuff left to do for that.
And we have 2 weeks before we leave for our first race.
It's true, and which is time. It's time, but it's still takes a little bit of prepping to get all the boxes and.
Felt a lot better about it until tonight.
Well, that's where I was Saturday morning looking at the race, the Z that didn't run. So
Well,
You'll-
and,
Oh, we
uh,
knew what
find
that problem was, and we knew how to fix it. Like it's just a matter of finding the right thing to click.
The Mazda was running until
Yeah.
somebody took all the wires out. Look at all these wires I got. Look.
Like, well, I don't need this door wire. It's windows, and speaker. The hell do I need all this side airbag? I don't need any of that crap.
Wow. No, it had side
Was our-
airbags.
was our last
The
event-
wiring was there for it, even though it didn't have it because it
Oh.
was an option.
Was our last event at Pitt the one where the roof got ripped off the Wakeman RV?
Yes.
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 Yeah. There's
Yeah.
some anxiety there.
No, we're not going to come home in a hurricane or a tornado warning,
hope
whatever
not.
the hell that was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's not.
I don't know. If the percentage of races that we have dodged hurricanes coming back from.
It's been a lot. It's been a lot.
More than
You're
it
not
should
wrong.
be, really.
Single digits, but still, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not
So-
zero, which is
Single
weird.
digits.
Let me try and put a bow on this thing. So I just wanted to say that a lot of people wonder. I don't think a lot of people wonder. I think a lot of people know who we are because they, we kind of put a big footprint on the racetrack when we're there. We have 2 RVs, we have a hot tub, we try and be the life of the party. We have, hosted the entire paddock for a potluck a couple of times pre-COVID. Our cars were loud and funky, and our themes are bright, but we do it so that we're having a good time. And I don't want anyone to ever think that we're not approachable or we're above giving somebody a lend a hand. Sisso Motorsports won the race with our car part on it. Like, we will help you. Hopefully this
As
year.
did Tully.
Did Amanda?
Yeah.
No, I think
Oh,
it
she-
broke later, but
Did
Yeah,
it? Okay.
she
never
didn't
mind.
win with ours. We've given a lot of
Never
parts to a lot of people. But if we're not wrenching, ask me. I'll come wrench on your car. That's the kind of guy I am. And we are always gonna share some cookies on the hood of the car or whatever's going on. So please come up
Not
and
all
talk
the
to
good
us.
ones, but
Yeah,
some.
the good ones we hide. Hello.
I mean, they're all good.
They're all good.
It's just that the better, more
Yeah.
loved ones
Yeah.
by the team don't
It's
always
actually
get
not
to.
true. The best
It
ones are
starts-
out.
yeah.
The ones we hide are the ones that are gluten-free that Chrissy eats.
I mean, I hide them for myself. I don't hide them for you.
We don't want them.
There's-
We're like,
I know.
open the bucket. Oh,
snickerdoodles.
Chrissy's cookies. No.
It says right on top,
The
Chrissy's
cookies of
cookies.
sadness. I don't want these. I want the sugary, fluffy ones. Anyway. I just want to say that we do our best to be the best people possible on the track. We will help you out. We will do track walks. We will help you learn. We will do anything again. And then the COVID showed up, and we feel like we were less social last year. And we just
We
wanted to
had to be.
reintroduce ourselves. We had to be. We just wanted to reintroduce ourselves and say, hey, we love you people.
We do.
oh,
Oh, Chrissy's making the heart.
Jeff didn't see it.
I did see it. I was
Okay.
ignoring it.
Oh, okay. Well,
I don't know
Damn.
how to do it.
That's
turn
it.
your hands over.
All the 9-year-old girls can figure out how to do it, and you can too, Jeff. So
I'm not 9, but okay.
yeah.
Right? Okay. All right. This is
Okay.
dumb for podcast world.
This is. We're all doing hand motions, everybody. Yeah. What do we want to do? Oh, very good. There you go. Here, mental. You do this way, I'll do that way.
Okay. This is dumb. Come on. People,
All right.
Chrissy doesn't know what we're doing.
people.
If you're someone that hasn't met us, what we're really digging lately is a lot of folks have been engaged us on our social media. So you can find us and all that stuff. Jeff will go through it here in a moment. Love doing that. Having an extended conversation with Tyler up in Minnesota about trying to find his first Lemons car. We're happy to give our experience. I don't know if you would call it advice, but hey, here's what not to do. Happy to come wrench. We may not be able to hang out with you as much as we want to because we're wrenching on a car or because we're working, but please come by and say hi. And we still appreciate all of you. We appreciate everyone's support. It's a lot of good time. If you're brand new listening to this, we're not trying to be killjoys. We're just trying to save you a lot of heartache because we have stepped on a lot of landmines on our trip
Wieners.
to get to where we're going here. And we've just,
They're not all wieners.
and you should be able to make your own mistakes and not have to duplicate someone else's. So we're happy to do that. And that's why despite all of their own best advice, they're showing up with 2 new race cars on one race weekend.
What other
We
option
only-
do we have?
We only have one registered, so we only really need one moving at the same time.
That's why we're bringing 2, is because they're both new. So one of them hopefully will work.
That actually happened. There was a Cadillac Eldorado at NOLA, and it made it all the way to Saturday before it ventilated the block. So we teched their spare Cadillac race car and sent them out on Sunday morning
That might
so they
happen.
could race.
Might be
Yeah.
us.
It might be us.
Yes.
All right. Do we have a just the tip, hella sweet but terrible, or should we just wrap this thing up? It's going to be a long show here. folks.
It's really quick.
Okay, good.
This
Let's
is
do a
actually
quick one.
really good because it's kind of dumb, but
Is it on the tip? What? Just
it's
the tip?
on the tip.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's
What-
on the
what-
spot. It's on the spot. is what it is.
On the spot. Go on.
184 episodes, Jeff.
What?
On the
Yep.
Oh,
tip.
but I did the same thing earlier, so it's fine. Okay. We've been spending so much time in the garage. And I had this thought. So here's your on the spot. Favorite tool, least favorite tool to use. Doesn't matter. Just in the garage.
It's on my Facebook page. My favorite tool is the 4.5-inch grinder. My favorite one happens to be the Craftsman with the side switch, not that paddle switch, son of a biscuit, whatever that is doing. The 4.5-inch grinder will do anything. It'll sand, it'll cut, it'll smooth. Who doesn't love a 4.5-inch grinder? I bought my
Can-
first one for like $9 at Harbor Freight, and I still
it can
have it.
smite your enemies with it. You can
Right.
smite yourself with it.
God. It can send you to the hospital.
Yep.
And Chrissy,
Sometimes Jeff comes out of his house and he sees where it's tried to escape and it, ran down the driveway, but then the cord came unplugged.
what is the very first thing I do when I get a new 4.5-inch grinder?
Take the guard off.
Take the guard off. No, I don't anymore. I did my first one. The second one I didn't. Have more than one because you need one with the flap disc at all times and one with the cutoff wheel at all
Well, it
times.
depends on what you're doing. You don't need it at all
Sometimes you might
times.
want the wire wheel on one.
I have 3.
Yeah. Good.
What's your
And-
least favorite? Go ahead. Since you've already started, we already have the advertisement. Go ahead. This is supposed to be a
Favorite.
short segment.
Short segment. Someone else do something while I think of a least favorite.
All right. Favorite I've got is I have a set of 1/4-inch drive. It's a gear wrench, 82 teeth, 1/4-inch drive ratchet it's got even a hand one. It's like just the perfect size for most things you need to do, but it's lightweight, but it's precise. And you can do everything except big jobs with it. So it's like, it's kind of become my go-to if I got to grab something just to go do stuff or go to the junkyard. Like I grabbed that one.
Did
because
you
it's-
win that at AER?
Yeah, it was our consolation prize for building 4 transmissions. And
And I believe it's built by Gear Wrench, right?
it's a gear wrench set. Yeah.
Gear Wrench. Yeah.
I think that's probably my favorite. My least favorite is the gator grip socket my mom got me because she thought it was a good idea.
But didn't you use it
I
last
did actually
week?
use it recently, which made me think of it is on the Mazda seat rails. They had like a 10-point star bolt. I said, what the hell am I going to do with this? I put vice grips on one side and then
Gator
gator grip on the other, and damn, one
Gator grip.
came off. So, yeah, there you go.
All right, I have my least favorite. My least favorite is the regular old pliers, like the slip joint pliers. I have 37 different kinds of pliers. They all do the same thing. The one I never touch is the good old slip joint.
I have one set that I use regularly of slip joint. Some things you just
Yeah,
need
yeah.
that. Anyway, mental.
We're doing-
Mental.
I'm having a hard time with the favorite tool, but the least favorite tool used to be my favorite tool. And it's a Sawzall. And I love the Sawzall because it's, like whenever you get a new tool, it is the personification of the new tool solves all problems. And I recognize now that when I have to get the Sawzall, I'm in a bad, it's going to get worse. So every time I grab the Sawzall off my pegboard, it's always a, so, but I used to use that thing for everything, tree trimming. Recently we were actually using it to try and remove the tile on the pool. Nope, call somebody. So there's that one. I am now with working on the Toyota, especially as rust free as it is, and then also the limited work that I've been doing on the Mercedes. I am actually developing an appreciation for the basics, non-ratcheting box end wrenches.
Non-ratcheting.
Wait. Do you mean double box or do you mean combination?
Combination, open
Thank
end
you.
on one end and
Just
then
checking.
circular on another. I've got two really good sets of Craftsman ones. They don't slip. They fit on perfectly, SAE and metric. And I know it's faster to use the ratcheting wrenches, but just being able to, oh, you're petting the cat. I thought you were telling me to get away from the microphone.
No, I'm petting the cat.
It just puts you in a mindset of what you're doing. And I am appreciating the kind of tactile sensation of just being in the garage and removing a part, putting on a new part, and then putting it back on there and having it work. I'm a terrible mechanic. So every one of those is a little win for me.
I have to say that I am also a very big fan of the combination wrenches. Chris has converted himself to the electric impact for 90% of the things. I still like the wrench. I have two of them, and I frequently they stay in the box, and I just use the good old wrenches.
Okay. So I came up with this idea because I hate the cutoff wheel.
Clutch my pearls.
I don't really like the wire wheel because the wire wheel was shedding way too much. I was finding it in my shirt. Like it was everywhere. It was terrible. Like the actual wire wheel that was shedding it.
The wires.
Yes, the wires are coming off. But like I like the grinder. I like the rest of the thing. I just hate the cutoff wheel. I don't like it's too many sparks. It's too shooting at your face. It's I just don't like it. And that's not my favorite. That's what I hate the most. Although then I was sitting here, I'm glad you guys had to go first because I was struggling with coming up with what my favorite was. I think my favorite is somewhere between the drill and impact. I can't decide which one I like more. Both wireless, both used so much. I was going to say impact, but then I'm like, I use the drill for just so much. I was just thinking about how much I like a cordless drill. I do really also like my ratcheting, my socket wrench for sockets that has on and off on it. That's what I'm trying to get at.
You have a 3/8 drive ratchet that says on and off.
So I don't have to guess.
Do you know who made that one?
Philip.
Harbor Freight. It's not an icon. It's just it's like the better Pittsburgh one.
Yeah, better than Pittsburgh. It's the middle one. The
Yes.
Goldilocks.
Chicago Tool. I think it is called Chicago Tool or something.
I think it doesn't have a
It's the
name
one
on
with
it.
the black and red rubber handle.
Oh, I like that one. I am a very big fan of the black and yes.
It's got a swivel head on it, so it's somewhere
No,
between.
don't like
those two.
swivel heads.
It bends.
No, the flex head. I know that's why that one is always in the drawer for you.
Mhm.
because I never take the flex
I never
head.
have to fight anybody with it.
I never take the flex head. But no, the black and red, I don't know what brand, which Goldilocks it is at Pittsburgh at Harbor Freight. That is a good one.
Yes. All right. Thanks for sharing.
It's good. That was a really good one. I like that.
That was a good session.
Good.
yeah.
I just I've been thinking about it and it's an easy topic. Hey,
And
if you
which-
guys have a favorite, let us know. We'd happy to hear it. Favorite or least favorite. Maybe we're all wrong. Maybe
Put
there's
it
a
down.
tool out there that we don't know.
Put it down there in the doodly do. Link it. Like go find where you can buy it and link it.
Ooh.
Thank you for downloading us. And I just pushed the power button instead of the up volume button. So now I have to wait for there it goes. Thank you for downloading us. This has been a fun episode. It's been a while since we've really talked about ourselves. We hope you enjoyed this week's edition of Everyone Racers. We hope you'll join us in the world of driving, racing, and building, because everyone can be a racer, even you. If you enjoyed this podcast, subscribe. It's totally free. Then go to iTunes and give us a 5-star rating. Even if you hate us, give us 5 stars and tell us why. If you have any questions or show ideas, drop a comment on our Facebook page, Everyone Racers, or put it right down the doodly-doo and tell us what your favorite tool is. You could also email us at everyone.racers@gmail.com, or you can text us at 484-243-0455. Find us on Instagram or Twitter at Everyone Racers. We're now officially on Spotify and Google, right, Mental? You can say, hey,
Yes,
Google.
Absolutely. Say, hey, Google, play Everyone Racers.
That's awesome. Recommend us
And
to your
it-
Spotify
and
buddies.
it just did in my kitchen. It just did.
I should mention that Chrissy and I are on the Apex Adjacent podcast. Probably as you hear this podcast, they are releasing our episode this week, and we ran out of music because we talked about too many other things. So until next week, keep the shiny side up. Talk to us on the doodly-doo.